Welcome. You are listening to the Quality Cup Life podcast. I'm your host, Imani, and here we talk about the pressures of young adulthood, how to overcome them, and how you can allow them to make you stronger so that way you can see your life from your fullness instead of your deficiencies. And honestly, y'all, I feel like people sometimes can underestimate us and what we as a younger generation can do, and then sometimes that is put on us so hard that we start to buy into the lies as well. And it's a no for me, and I hope it's going to be a no for y'all too. Today we have a special guest. His name is Stephone, and he's dropping in so we can just chat and you guys can kind of get to know me and what Quality Cup Life is all about. All right, let's get into the show. So I'm sitting here with Stephone in my living room. Hi, Stephone. I'm so happy for you to be here today.
Hi, hello. I'm glad to be here, Imani. Liking the setup you got going on in here.
Thanks.
How was it? How was it? Like putting this together and stuff, you know, with the confined space and stuff.
It's cool. Just a little creativity, a little elbow grease.
Elbow grease.
Yeah.
How you feel? Oh, how you feeling today?
Pretty good. I'm a little nervous, but pretty good. How about yourself?
Just a little hungry, but you know, doing good though. Doing good.
All right, cool. Well, I brought Stephone here today, so we could do like a little mini interview, so that way, you guys could get to know me as the host and get to know what Quality Cup Life is all about.
Yeah. So since I have, you know, spent a lot more time with you than the people have, give them opportunity to learn about yourself.
All right. So. Of course, my name is Imani. I'm 24. I'm from South Carolina. I love dark chocolate.
Okay.
I like camera gear. I like to be on the go.
Anything
I love people.
Health-related.
Yeah, health related things.
Sean Stevenson.
Yeah, that's my uncle. Shout out to my Uncle Sean. And I love helping people get through stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, you do a lot of that.
Yeah.
Do a lot of that. But I think you'll have more opportunities to help even more people with Quality Cup Life and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get into that and explain to the people who don't know what Quality Cup Life is.
All right. So Quality Cup Life is basically like a community devoted to encouraging young people to live in overflow and to have purpose and fulfillment in their lives. And basically we do that through addressing it through the lens of mindset, but in relation to relationships, wealth, and health. And I've have it broken down into 3 pillars with each theme, and we address it through that and help people along with that.
Oh, that's pretty cool. But I already know the answer to this, but just to make it clear for everyone else, you mentioned young people. Is that just your main demographic, and is everybody included within Quality Cup Life?
Well, I'm sorry. When I said young people, I mean young adults.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know, sometimes when you get to like a certain, when some people, not everybody, get to a certain age, they can kind of become complacent or stuck in their ways and how they think and how they view things.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think now, as a young adult, is a good time to make an adjustment, so that way you can set your life up to support you and not your life being already there and you have to work around your life.
Yeah, and I think that's I don't want to necessarily say where people go wrong, but I think at a certain age, like you were mentioning, like people kind of stop learning at a certain point. Not necessarily trying to say you're trying to teach people per se, but I think it's most helpful for you to like absorb information when you're younger, right? instead of like when you're older, like how you said, it's kind of hard for you to, take in more information if you've been doing the same things maybe throughout the years and stuff. So
true, but I think it's never too late to learn and take in information, because honestly, I'm not that old, but I feel like if I knew all the stuff I knew like when I was like 18 or 17, my life would be like a whole lot different.
Of course.
So I think it's never too late to make a transition. And even if you're not like a young adult, if you're like 40 or 35 or whatever, 50, I think you could still take in and learn some things that maybe you didn't know, because a lot of things that I've learned in the past 3 years, a lot of people that I know, adults, don't even know. They're not even aware of it.
Yeah.
And I just think now is a great time to pivot, so that way my outcome can be more of how I don't want to say hope it to be, but like I can create what it is that I want, instead of thinking that whatever is just how it is and I have to just go with it. And so yeah.
So yeah, could you go further into how you thought of quality cup life?
Yeah, I can do that. So, like I was saying, I learned a lot of things about how to get through times where I guess for me personally, I've had a lot of moments in my life where people kind of doubted me or told me I wouldn't be able to do this or do that, or I guess like an underdog, like underestimated me. And so I started to kind of believe that, until I started learning all these things about like how much your mindset matters and pushing through different things. And then that led into me learning about health, and then that led into me learning about money and trying to figure out why people around me were struggling so much, and what's the difference between the people who are struggling versus the people who are thriving in those areas. And like thriving as a whole in life. Of course nobody's perfect, but just they just seem to be thriving. I'm just like, well, what's the difference? And so I started to learn what the difference was, and I just want to give people, I guess, exposure to what it's like to live like a better quality life without reading all the books that I had to read, I guess.
The cheat codes.
Yeah. And
up, down, up, down.
And then I know everybody has heard you have to fill your cup up first. You don't want to pour from an empty cup. You need to make sure that you're straight. And then there's this video with Ian Levans and Oprah, and she was talking about how you need to come with your cup full, and what's in the cup is for you, and what spills into the saucer is for everybody else. So you need to come with it and make sure you're straight before you're able to do anything else for anybody else, because people will suck you dry if you don't have boundaries, and if you don't make sure you're good, people are vying for your attention, your money, your time, your like what you like to do. People is bought and sold. They buying your attention, and it's already sold before you even open your eyes in the morning. People are bidding on you.
So you would say within your own personal life, you would, I guess, try to give to other people without you. I don't necessarily want to say that you've maximized whatever you're about to share. You haven't reached your highest potential of whatever you're about to share. So just to try to make that my thought more cohesive. Like, what's an example of you trying to help someone and you haven't reached that overflow point, I guess you could say?
Ooh, there is several of those.
Or it can be something just small. It doesn't have to be very specific moment in time.
There's a lot of that.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, a lot of that. Well, okay, for example, okay, I'm gonna use this example. Okay, so when I was in college, I was talking to this guy, and he had a lot of issues. I didn't know this beforehand, before we like started talking or whatever. And then just being me, my personality, like naturally, I've always been like, always trying to encourage people and make them feel better and acknowledge them. And because I think like what a good friend would do is just, if your friend is down, or even if a stranger is down and you have the opportunity to talk to him, why not try to uplift them and all that? But that becomes draining if that's how it is every time we interact. I feel like I have to be there for you and make sure, hey, are you okay? Like trying to cheer you up and do a little dance or whatever to try to make you, smile or whatever. If that's every single time, also how my personality is, like I kind of take on and I take personal what other people are going through, especially if I care about you. I like kind of carry the burden, and I'm trying to figure out how to help you solve your problem. But that's dangerous because I had my own problems. I had my own problems, my own personal problems, and then in school was like dumb stressful. I was in all these extra activities, and I had drama with my roommate, and it was just, it was just a lot. And so it was draining the heck out of me. I'm concerned about you, and then I got my own stuff. You're not the friendship or whatever, relationship, whatever it wasn't mutual. Like I was pouring and pouring and pouring, trying to pour into him, but who was gonna do it for me? Like,
yeah. And I kind of wanna
and that's happened a lot. So this is 2021. We are cutting that out.
And I I understand. I kind of want to make it clear to people that if you think or had an idea that you may be one of these people that sees yourself as taken from people, that doesn't necessarily make you a bad person. Because I'm sure once you realize that this guy was kind of taking your energy and your time and stuff, that you had to eventually distance yourself from him. And it's not necessarily to say that he was a bad guy necessarily.
Oh, no, he wasn't a bad guy.
Yeah, but it was just that in that point in time, you didn't have what you needed in yourself to be able to be given all that time and attention and emotion, because that is, in everyday life, it can just be very draining. Like you said, like just taking someone else's responsibilities and adding it to your own plate of responsibilities, which can cause a big mess.
Hoopla.
Okay, with the SpongeBob references.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if you heard the podcast where Carl said you can't set yourself on fire to keep everybody else warm. Did you hear him say that?
I didn't, but that's
fire, literally.
Yeah, but for you guys who's curious, she's talking about the Secrets to Success podcast with Eric Thomas. If you wanted to check that out.
No, not if you want to, go check it out.
Well, like she said, go check it out. It's
support.
pretty good. So what are you doing different to make sure that you are, I guess I can say that you are more fulfilled? Is that the right way you should say that? To make sure that you're more fulfilled to help others? Or how would you go about saying that? What are you doing different to make sure you're helping those people, not those people, but helping people correctly, coming correct for yourself and for them?
I think you can just I'm not sure, I kind of almost forgot your question just now, but but I think it don't have to be no big dramatic thing. Like, you can start small. I started small.
Okay.
With as far as like mindset goes, I started off looking up motivational videos or whatever, like on YouTube or whatever, and then I started reading books on how to deal with, or like books and reading stuff about character and your work ethic and how to have resiliency and all that stuff. So that was helpful, me learning that, because that affected my thought process and then how I moved. And then that allowed me to, not trying to sound cliche, but get from where I was to where I am. I don't know. And all the different things that I've been able to be a part of, I wouldn't have been able to do it without all the things that I've learned and all the tools that I've gotten. And then health-wise, I had like health problems. It wasn't nothing like serious, but I used to have like eczema real bad in like high school. It used to be all over my arm, my leg, my neck, like my stomach. And then I learned small things like drinking more water and like
eat your vegetables.
or I started by drinking more water. And I stopped eating as much dairy and like I chilled on the bread and like it just I don't have it at all anymore. That's an example. That's just something small. And then for money wise, I started going crazy listening to Dave Ramsey once I discovered him because I was trying to figure out why people I knew didn't have any money. I'm just like, well, what happened? Like, why is this happening? So, started by listening to Dave Ramsey, and then I went crazy one summer, and I was like, I'm gonna get $1,000 in my bank because that was like a huge amount of money to me. And I was like, and once I finally hit it, I was like, yo, like this is crazy. I got $1,000. I can get this, that, and that if I wanted to, but I'm not. Because I'm a boss.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I was feeling.
So, I know you mentioned you went about changing your mindset first. So, I kind of want to make sure I put some attention on this because, you know, our people as in specifically the black community, kind of, that's something that most of us kind of surpass or none of us really talk about is our mental state and our mindset. So what are just 2 resources or maybe just 2 books that have helped you personally with your mindset?
2 books that helped me with my mindset.
Or one, if you can't think on the fly.
Well, I'll say, for me, I'll say the Bible.
Okay. That's cool. I like that.
And then, and some of y'all, you know, you might not be interested in, that's cool. I mean, even if you don't believe in it, there's some, like, really, really, really practical stuff in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think the first book that was related to that was it's by Brian Tracy. It's called No Excuses. And it's, do I have it behind me? No, I don't. And it's about the power of self-discipline and how much you can go super far. It's surprising. It's crazy how so far you can get with just disciplining yourself. So yeah, those 2 books are really good. And then the cool thing about No Excuses is there's, 18 chapters, and they're specific to self-discipline when it comes to money, when it comes to marriage, when it comes to work, when it comes to character, when it comes to success, personal growth. Like it breaks it down. So that's a really good one to start. It was like $8 it's on sale in the bargain section or whatever at Barnes and Noble for like $8. So
yeah,
it's a good book.
You guys hit up, Amazon or your local bookstore. Yeah. Not just necessarily just to pick up the book you just mentioned, but just to check it out, because you'll be surprised as to what you can find in
a book.
In a book.
Yeah.
I mean, there ain't nothing wrong with going to YouTube and stuff. Everybody learns differently, but to me personally, it just seems like information is just absorbed differently once you pick up a book and read it and stuff. So I got a question for you. I'm curious as to how close do you think you are to, I still don't have a name for it, because just saying to your overflow, once you have the ability to help others, do you think you're closer to that point, or you're there, or you're closer to there in just some places more than others?
I wouldn't say there's a point where you get to, now I'm ready to help others. Not necessarily. But I just think make sure you're doing something to pour into yourself first.
Oh, okay.
And you need to start with you first. And I think, and don't drain, not to make it sound super simple, but just don't drain all your resources. Okay, so practical example. If you have $30.
Yep.
and
I like money.
you are going to the grocery store. This is all you have. You got to find food, $30 worth of food, and it's all you got. And you know you got to eat. Baby at the house. You know what I'm saying? Crying because they hungry.
Hey, eggs and rice, baby.
No.
Eggs and rice, baby. Easy.
What's the song? What would you do if your son was at home crying all alone on the what is it, bathroom floor because he's hungry? I know you don't know that song, but
I heard
think
it before. I can't call it though.
That baby on the floor crying because he's hungry. You got $30. It doesn't make sense to give your whole $30 to somebody else.
Yeah.
Because or no shade, but like if there's somebody on the side of the road that's like, or not side of the road, in front of the grocery store, like, hey, I need some money, whatever. You don't go, hey, I'm so sorry that happened to you. Here's $30. Like, no, you got the baby at the house crying because they hungry. That's cool if you give them $1 or something like that. That's cool, or $2 if you're feeling really generous. Like, I think that's fine, but I wouldn't give them the whole $30 just because you want them to be good.
Yeah.
But you hungry and your baby hungry. Like, I don't know if that example is.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
But yeah.
So basically, don't put yourself in a bad spot while helping others. Kinda, right?
Yeah, and then I think also prioritizing yourself, and I don't mean like in a selfish way, but if you don't have anything for yourself, you have nothing to give to another person. As much as you want to give to them, you don't have anything to give. And I don't think we were put on this earth to only be able to do for ourselves. We were put on this earth to be able to do for other people. You can't do for other people if you don't have anything yourself.
Basically the saying that everybody knows: when the airplane is going down, put your mask on first.
Because if you can't breathe, how you gonna help somebody else breathe?
You cannot.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
You
suffocating.
Out. So how is the Quality Cup Life your personal community, or maybe just anybody who comes across your business?
The plan is to give people, I guess, exposure to new ideas or to different ideas. And that doesn't mean that you have to like go with everything that the business represents, but at least consider it. Consider that maybe what you were taught or what you see in your environment isn't necessarily what is best for you. Like, you have to figure out what's best for you. And that's the point of this is looking at, okay, what are my values? What do I actually care about? How do I want my life to actually look?
Self-assess.
Yeah, that's what it is. Self-assess. And figure out what it is what's actually important to you. Don't just adopt somebody else's values. Yeah. Without questioning, are these actually my values? Do I actually care about this? Is this really important to me? So that's just the in a nutshell, that's the point of it, is just to figure out, okay, what are my values? What's important to me? And then once you do that, then you can start to you figure out which bottles of whatever you want to pour into your cup. Because you don't want to pour something to your cup that you don't, and drink it, you don't even like it. Like, I don't like root beer. So why in the devil would I pick up root beer just because everybody around me is drinking root beer and pouring in my cup and be frowning and be drinking it because I don't like it. So no, I'm gonna put some coffee in that thing because I like coffee and like water and stuff.
I guess to make that more practical for everybody, because I'm sure some people may be like, what is she talking about? But she means as though, I don't want to say conform, but yeah, I guess she's trying to say that you don't have to do what everyone else is doing. You can invest into your own interests, and then you can see abundance within that. So if you necessarily don't, I'm going to just use the generic. Let's just say that everybody you know right now is going to college. And there's nothing wrong with going to college. But if you don't necessarily see yourself happy or necessarily thriving after college, then don't do it. Pursue something else that you may see that will actually benefit you. Maybe, I'm going to just say baking cakes or something. If you want to bake a cake, go bake cakes. Don't go to college with everybody else and study business, and that's not what you want to do. But I that's just a way to give people a perspective, and not have people think about root beer when they think about quality cup life.
Well, I mean,
I'm sure that's the last thing in your cup anyway.
Yeah, absolutely not. I feel you, but like, I wouldn't necessarily say just pursue your interests. I would say like, because you can be interested in anything at any point and it can switch up. Like,
that's
so true. I think it's more of where you figure out where your values lie, or what do you want, where you want your values to lie. Because sometimes we say, oh, I value this, but then we do the opposite. So it's like, which one is it? Are you lying to yourself and saying I value my health, but you drink soda 2 times a day or whatever? Like, are you lying to yourself? Or figure out what is it that's actually important to me, what I want my life to look like, and then go from there, and not necessarily what I'm interested in. Because I wouldn't necessarily say if I'm interested in baking cakes, I shouldn't study business. Like, because you're going to need business skills. No, I feel you, but like, but you don't necessarily need to go to college. So I do rock with you on that. You don't have to go to college to learn business skills to bake cakes. But I think at some point you do need to study business. You don't have to go to college. You can get books. You can go become part of mastermind groups. You can go to seminars, Udemy. You can do a lot of stuff. Yeah, to study business.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah. So I mean, because sometimes you kind of need to partake in things that you're not necessarily interested in if it's gonna help you get to your goal.
Yeah.
So
kind of tripped up on that because of course you're gonna need to look into things that you may not necessarily have an interest in, but that you don't. The main point I was trying to mention was you don't have to just basically do what everyone else is doing if you know it's not good for you.
Most these sheep move like... Okay, sorry. Don't be a sheep.
If you know, you know. If you heard what she just said, you know. If you know, you know. But
baby, be like, most these sheep.
Okay. We don't need the vocals right now. Where can people get more of your content?
So you can find Quality Cup Life on YouTube. It's the primary platform right now. We're still working on the website, and wherever podcasts are potted.
Wherever they're potted.
Or planted,
I like that. Wherever podcasts are potted.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was really fun and interesting. I never necessarily seen myself being set up with all the gear and stuff. But it's pretty cool. I'm glad you invited me.
Yeah, that's the man with the golden voice.
Hey, it's cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, thanks, bud. We just fist bumped, just so y'all know. But all right. Thanks so much. See ya next week.
Peace.